Look at what's going on now. I think it's one of the most dangerous times this country has ever faced.
That is famed journalist Bob Woodward on where we are as a nation right now. And I think it is particularly notable because Bob Woodward is really measured at all times, even in his speech. There I was in the foxhole, writing it in my reporter's notebook. Like, that's literally his cadence of speech. So for him to say that we are in one of the most dangerous times in American history is extraordinary. With his history of covering Watergate and the many hours that he has spent personally interviewing Donald Trump, I think it says a lot, okay? Like, giant, huge, enormous red flag. My name is Suri Crowe, and you're watching the MeidasTouch Network. I have spoken about this book many times. It's called On Tyranny, 20 Lessons from the 20th Century, and it is written by Timothy Snyder, who is one of the premier experts on authoritarianism in the world. He's a Yale scholar and a historian. I refer to this book often as a guidebook on what to do in the face of encroaching tyranny. But what flipped me out is when I found out recently that Timothy Snyder left his position at Yale to take a chair position at the University of Toronto in Canada. One of the world's leading experts on fascism left America for Canada. And not only that, he went with his wife, who is also a Yale professor, or was, Marcy Shore, who says that she fears that civil war is going to break out in the U.S. And to top off the trifecta, another Yale expert on fascism, Jason Stanley, he just accepted a position at the University of Toronto as well, after seeing Columbia University, in his words, completely collapse and give in to an authoritarian regime. And here is Jason Stanley speaking with Ali Velshi.
People forget that history is watching. All the enablers of this fascist takeover, from the president and board of Columbia University to the op-ed writers of the New York Times, whose job seems to be to normalize a fascist takeover, all of these people will go down in the history books as cowards, villains, or fools. Universities need to step up. They need to band together at this moment. This talk of ducking as so you won't be a target, that presupposes that they're targeting other universities. That is nonsensical talk. It needs to go away. The universities need to band together to protect democracy. They're fundamental democratic institutions. The richer institutions, like my own at Yale, need to support financially the poorer institutions in this moment of extreme emergency.
Stanley, like many others in academia, see the Trump regime's use of anti-Semitism to enact these enforcements, the policing of speech about, Gaza and Palestine, etc., as a ruse or a cover for something much more sinister.
Wrong approach. As historian Timothy Snyder recently pointed out, history does not have an example of universities and free speech being targeted to benefit Jewish people. The university in American life is, among other things, a very Jewish institution. When you're attacking universities supposedly to protect Jewish people, it is obviously hypocritical. And this places American Jews at the center of American politics. This is never good for the Jews, as we say. This American Jews will go down in history books if this continues, if we enable this, as the people responsible for taking down the greatest system of higher education in human history. We are being set up here. We are being set up by the Trump regime, and we need to resist this and speak out loudly against this.
Karen Attiah, who is a Columbia grad and columnist for the Washington Post, agrees.
America itself is not safe. And to think that it's only going to stop at students, at Palestinians, at Black people, at trans people is a delusion. And I wish people would wake up. And I wish people would see that this is not just being anti-DEI. If it wasn't anti-DEI, if it wasn't anti-Semitism, there would be some other excuse, some other cover.
Yeah.
What this is about is about a purging and is about exclusion and is about, frankly, segregation.
Because I follow this stuff very carefully and have for a while now, I'm not going to lie, my stomach kind of dropped out from underneath me when I found out that Timothy Snyder left for Canada. I was like, what the fuck? The person who is the expert on tyranny, who says do not, he's the one who coined or wrote the phrase "do not obey in advance." That's this guy. Left for Canada. I was like, oh shit, wow! If there was ever a canary in a coal mine, that would be it. But he and his fellow experts on fascism literally left us with books written on what to do right now. And here is an article. Rachel Maddow actually posted it the other night. It's excellent. It's from the magazine Foreign Affairs. It's titled "How to Save Democracy." I rated a 10/10. I highly recommend you read the whole thing. But here's an excerpt. In the United States, the opposition's response, we are the opposition, we the pro-democracy, by the way, the opposition's response to the threat so far has been underwhelming. Reeling from electoral defeat and shocked by the blitz of the Trump administration's power grabs, politicians and civil society groups are uncertain about the path forward and hesitant to take bold steps. This delay is costly. If American democracy is to prevail, pro-democracy forces must follow the handbook that has enabled oppositions to stop would-be autocrats in other countries. They should coordinate to defend and expand their institutional powers while they have them. Wield them to obstruct Trump's authoritarian agenda, strengthen grassroots resistant efforts, and protect the activists, office holders, and other individuals exposed to retribution from the administration. The alternative may be that democracy slips away while they wait. Don't throw away your shot. And I hear refrains of Hamilton. And as I'm recording this, he may still be going, but it talks about use whatever powers you have, institutional powers that you have. And Senator Cory Booker has been basically just holding up the Senate, going for, the last time I checked, it was like 13, 14 hours. Like, that's something he's doing. He is disrupting the system. He's saying we're in crisis. That's exactly what we need right now. We need every lawyer we can getting in the courts, fighting everything. These are the institutional powers and things that we can do right now while we have them. And the article talks about Democratic leaders going along with the fascist regime and behaving like norms are still in place. And once again, I hate to do this, but I'm going to pick on Senator Schumer and the 9 other Democrats who went along with him and voted for that continuing resolution, voting to confirm Trump's cabinet picks, which almost, I think, every Democrat senator did, including mine, Warner, and Kaine. When they all voted to confirm Marco Rubio. That has proven to be an unmitigated disaster. Marco Rubio's a mess. He's the one who's signing off on all these illegal, kidnappings off of our streets. So those are examples of Democrats thinking that everything's this, normal. Okay, well, we'll sign off on this Trump cabinet pick. Okay, well, we'll go for that one. No, they should have never. And I told them, I called at the time, do not obey in advance. No on everything. Our job is to obstruct and be the opposition. So now people like Senator Booker, et cetera, are now they're picking it up. And better late than never, but that's what we need to be doing. And I saw this comment on one of my videos where this is what a person wrote. I love what she's saying. That person would be me, sorry. It makes me feel not crazy. I'm so sick of family and friends saying I need to relax, not overreact, or the one that really gets under my skin. This can't really happen to us. But it's literally happening right now. I'm not crazy. Trump is. And she's right. In fact, I'll just share a personal story of mine. Like, this is what I'm studying all the time. Like, all the time I'm following this stuff. And one of my best friends, like I talk to her almost every single day, was saying like, in 4 years, we'll be all right. And I was like, Ashley, what the fuck are you thinking? We don't even have until the midterms. Like, we literally have like this much time to save what's left of our country. We're no longer even considered a democracy. Do you know that? America is no longer considered an official democracy, which makes sense to me because so many of our rights have been ripped away. We're called an anocracy. And just the fact that she said that when she talks to me all the time, I know she watches my MeidasTouch videos, but I think people are lulled into denial. Like, it's not really happening here. This can't be happening to us. It's this idea of American exceptionalism because we've never had to deal with this before, ever. Not since the Civil War, but we're right back here right now. We're right there. I mean, did you hear the part about Timothy Snyder's wife, a Yale expert on fascism, saying she fears that America is ripe for a civil war? These aren't scare tactics. It's like, wake up, wake the fuck up. Like, people going along thinking like, oh, there's no way it could happen here. It is happening. We have people being removed from the streets illegally. We have universities bending the knee. We have the press corps at the White House bending the knee, not putting a comedian who would offend Trump. This is how dictatorships work. So no, we don't have 4 years. In fact, he's already said it. He wants to go for a third term. Like, I mean, this is what blows me away. He says this shit out loud and people are like, oh, in 4 years, we'll just put someone else. No, like, I just can't believe that, like, it's so frustrating to me. And I know I'm super fired up and I've had a lot of caffeine, but my God, it's happening in front of our faces. They are telling us what they are going to do. Like, at what point will you believe it? When you're in a gulag? I just can't. It just blows my door. And here is a Columbia University professor talking about just this type of attitude that she's noticing.
You know, I teach about dictatorships, but I've never lived in one. And one of the things that I appreciate, that I didn't appreciate before, is the fact that dictatorship, you know, living in a authoritarian regime doesn't necessarily affect everyone in the same way.
Yeah.
And that right now it's immigrant communities and federal workers and people at Columbia and soon to be people at other universities who are being impacted. And slowly that's going to grow, that those folks are going to grow. But, you know, I went to my Zumba class the other week and we were all just
still doing Zumba.
And it was so, in some ways, alienating because it's like, do you guys know what's going on?
Yeah. I'm not saying don't go do your Zumba, okay? But recognize where we are right now. And on that note, all around us, groups and organizations are doing something, but it doesn't work to save our nation if we don't all join them. Chapter 13 from Timothy Snyder's book. Chapter 13. Protest can be organized through social media, but nothing is real that does not end on the streets. If tyrants feel no consequences for their actions in the three-dimensional world, nothing will change. And I know we're all addicted to our phones. Everyone's living behind a screen these days. But here is he speaks to people all over the world. He goes to other nations. He was just in Ukraine. He talks to people about how to fight fascism. Get on the streets. If they feel no consequences for their actions in the three-dimensional world, nothing will change. We have to be out there in flesh and body and soul. Like, you can't just sit back and like, thank you. Please watch my videos and please share. And I love it. But get your booty out on the streets. And as I am recording this, there are nationwide marches and protests on April 5th. Get out and join us. You can look at 5051 movement. They are the ones who are organizing it. All you have to do is plug in your information. It'll tell you where the protests and marches are happening near you. It is the most important thing we can do right now. And in fact, one of the attorneys who is representing the Columbia professors who are filing suit about this whole debacle at Columbia University, just bending the knee to fascism, she said the best thing basically is to see you in the streets. And she's fighting in court, which is important, but see you in the streets. Got to do it. All right. So get off your sofa, get off your phone, take it to the streets. But remember, we only have but so much time. And that's why if you're hearing more urgency in my voice, it's because there is. It's because there is. There's urgency. We have to do it now. Now is the time. Thank you for watching. See you back here soon. Better yet, peace and see you on the streets.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.